All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Jim Borkel. I am the current computer science chair here at Harvey Mudd. I'm so glad you're able to join us for this update on what's happening in computer science here at HMC. So let's get started. So the big two key messages. So if you want to run off to some other department's update instead of watching this one, you can, but please don't leave before taking this message, which is that HMC has great computing pathways for everyone, and also that CS faculty and students are doing amazing things. That's everything in a nutshell. But in case you're here for the longer version, let's keep on going. All right, so you already know a bunch of stuff about how amazing Mudd is. So let's focus in on computer science. We are proud to be the top ranked undergrad computer science department in the country for the second year running. This has been a rating that US News and World Report just added last year. So we're proud to have only ever held the top spot for undergrad colleges. We're also very proud of our gender parity across our different majors. So let's talk about our majors. We've got 3 different flavors of CS majors here at Mudd. We've got the pure computer science major. We've got the joint computer science and math major. And then we also have a mathematical and computational biology major. And you can kind of see the breakdowns by students across these different majors here. We are very excited to be moving into our new home, which you can see right here in the McGregor Computer Science Center. So it's a brand new building that opened just this fall. We're still getting used to it. We're still excited about all of the possible uses we might see in the future, but it's an exciting time. I think one of the things we love about the building the most is that the building is built for collaboration, which is exciting because it matches exactly who we are as a department. So computer science is inherently collaborative, and the building now is kind of built to function with us on that front. So when you walk around our building, you almost always see groups of students working together, sometimes with a professor, sometimes not, and that's one of the things we love about this new building. And the space itself is built to have students kind of lounging around, hanging out, working together. And over here on this side, we've got our pair programming lab. So this is a lab that is designed for teams of 2 people to work together on one machine. So what happens is you've got a student that would sit here, another student that would sit across. They would have the exact same mirror image on the monitor. And then they'd both have a mouse and a keyboard, but what would happen is they're both controlling only one computer. So there's only one cursor, only one student can be typing at a time. So they have to work together in order to solve the problem that they're working on. So the cool thing about that is collaboration is built right into the lab. All right, so in terms of possible pathways through the major, first, everybody that comes to Mudd takes an intro computer science course, no matter how much background you have. So we've got a variety of flavors. So we've got CS5 Green, which is for the folks that love bio. CS5 Gold, so this is for folks who have never taken computer science in the past. We don't assume any prior knowledge of computer science. CS5 Black is for those students who have a bit of experience, and then CS42 is for those students who have a bit more experience. And beyond that, the kernel is composed of a variety of other courses. So our second course in the sequence is CS60. It kind of introduces this idea of computing in any language. So we kind of explore Java, which is an object-oriented programming language. We explore Racket, which is a functional language. The main takeaway is to not be afraid of any programming language you might encounter, and just realize, oh, I can pick any of these up. CS70 is all about how we organize information, how we store data, move it around efficiently, and starting to think about different layers of abstraction and how we kind of keep things together in our machine. CS81 is to think about how computing is all logical and built on logic, and asks the question, what is even computable? Beyond that, we've got CS105, which is our systems course. We've got CS131, which is our programming languages course, and CS140, which is our algorithms course. And then in addition to these core courses, these kernel courses, students then opt in to taking 3 or more electives. And so you can put together various elective tracks, or you can take a variety of different things in 3 completely different areas of computer science and just get a little bit more of all of them. Beyond our electives, we've got our capstone project, CS Clinic. Taking a step back, Clinic is our capstone experience for seniors. It's a year-long project-based course where a sponsor, typically from industry, works together with a team to solve a problem. So teams are of 4 to 5 to 6 seniors, and they kind of tackle a variety of problems. So you see sponsors that range from nonprofits like the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank. We've got defense contractors, Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. We've got big industry sponsors like Google. And so we run the gamut of possible different kinds of projects you might see. And to kind of highlight that even more, here's the logo board of all of our current year clinic sponsors. We are grateful for sponsoring all of our projects. One of the cool things about CS Clinic is the raw material is basically the team. It's the team that kind of tackles the problem together. And it's really the team that's learning from each other more than it is, a professor kind of trying to teach something. And so there's a variety of different components. In the before pandemic times, we always arranged site visits to go see the company in action, see who we might be designing or solving a problem for, see who we're working with and how they work. And we hope to get back to site visits now again soon. Another key aspect is there's a bunch of pre-professional opportunities to give talks. So here you see the CrowdStrike team from 2019, 2020. They just got done with giving their presentation on our site about it. And in terms of deliverables, the deliverables can range all over the map. So here we've got a project by Ovia from the 1920 academic year. And the main output of that project was actually an academic paper. So that's kind of cool. Here we've got a project sponsored by MIT Macon Labs. Their output was a robot, but then also a curriculum that went with that robot. And last but not least, we've got the Shopify project, which I am proud to say I am the faculty advisor for. The cool thing about the Shopify project, so there was a project last year, and they returned this year, which is not uncommon. Last year, they worked on a project where they tried to come up with better ways of facilitating kind of serendipitous interactions at like remote conferences, now that we're kind of all moving towards remote experiences. This year, we're working on software that would work with VR and thinking about what is the next future of kind of shopping experiences in the metaverse, in this virtual reality space. What might those look like? The reason I am excited about this picture is we actually have Angela Chen here, who was on the Shopify 2020-21 team, graduated last year. She's a CMC alum, and came back this year as the actual liaison of this year's project. So that's a really cool experience where the student from one year became the liaison on the very next year. And I should also mention that Frank Liu is also an alum, and one of our liaisons. He graduated in 2014 from MUD. So, all right, so next up, we're going to talk about what happens to our students after they leave MUD. So it turns out about 77 to 80% of students go straight to the workforce. About 15% go to grad school, and 8% do a variety of other things, work with a nonprofit, start their own thing, whatever the case might be. In terms of where they go and their actual destinations, in the grad school camp, our students tend to go to places like University of Washington, Berkeley, Maryland, Stanford, Cornell, Carnegie Mellon. So a lot of the usual suspects in terms of computer science, but you can kind of see a West Coast bias there a bit. And then in terms of industry destinations, we've got companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Caltech. So there's a program where recent alum will go and spend a year working on various academic software projects. And the cool thing is there's an HMC connection in that one of the people that kind of advises that program is Professor Catherine Breeden from here at MUD. In terms of what happens over the summer, a lot of our top internship destinations, the names you see here are actually familiar from where our students end up, which makes a lot of sense. And then we also maintain a very active 10-week summer research program where we tend to have somewhere in the ballpark of 60 to 80 students hanging out here over the summer. And the number of projects varies from year to year, and the number of faculty advisors involved can vary from year to year. But in general, we have 80 some odd students across a variety of maybe a dozen projects. So this is a picture of Prof. George Montañez's lab, and you can see them busy at work over the summer. And then once we come back. It turns out that they started getting together for game nights, and here's an actual picture of them all in our new building, hanging out, having a lab meeting together. One of the cool things about the summer research program is that students will often work together in teams to tackle a problem that we have no idea how to solve, and make immense amount of progress. So it's really fun for us as professors because we're tackling a problem that we're truly confounded by, no idea how to solve, and we're trying to get students to come jump in and help us solve it. And it's so exciting to see students make progress on a question we've had and couldn't answer, and we kind of get there together. So that's a really cool, powerful experience. All right, so I'm going to point out one student in particular, Amani Mayana Kalas, who is a junior here at MUD. And this year was awarded the CRA, so the Computing Research Association, Outstanding Undergraduate Researcher Award. So the top undergraduate researcher in the country. So a very prestigious awards, to say the least. So Amani spent a summer with Prof. George and actually worked across 3 different projects, all of which ended up with publications over the course of the summer. So that's a small sampling of the kinds of things that happen over the summer. Next up, we've got our list of amazing faculty. And I'm going to click through these. I'm not going to kind of talk through everybody's name, but you can kind of get a sense of who we are. And what I want to point out is all the variety of areas that we work in. So it runs the gamut. You see stuff from all over the place. So software analysis, we've got KB who works in human gaze perception and also CS education. We've got Jeff who works in file systems. So I'll point out that Julie Madero does a lot of summer research that ties into community-based outreach. So that's really cool. Prof. George Montañez, who we were just talking about, does work in theoretical machine learning. We've got natural language processing. We've got programming languages, people that work in graphics, reinforcement learning, databases, and human computation. So the human kind of becomes part of the solution technique. And we've got people like Jessica who apply computer science to solve problems in other disciplines such as biology. So we have an amazing team of visiting and adjunct professors. So Calvin and Blake both join us this year as visiting professors, and then Neil, Mark, and Leif join us as adjuncts and help us out from time to time. And then last, but certainly not least, we have our amazing CS staff. These are the people that make it all possible. So we couldn't do any of this without them. We've got Joyce and Kathy who serve us as administrative assistants. Sarani helps run our clinic program. Tim helps keep our systems going, and Kevin helps keep our courses up and running as well. And then I'm going to end with a quick faculty highlight. So the past 2 years running, so every year MUD has a series of awards, and one of the awards is Outstanding Faculty Member. I am proud that for the past 2 years running, they've been somebody from our department. So in 2020, it was Colleen Lewis, and then 2021, it was George Montañez. So we are very proud. Of course, all MUD faculty are amazing, and there's a bunch of amazing faculty throughout our department, but we're particularly proud of having won this award the past couple of years. All right, so that is what I was hoping to share with you. If you want more information, you can visit this URL, which will bring you to our 2021 newsletter, which gives you kind of a more in-depth view of some of the things that are happening around computer science here at MUD. All right, thank you. See ya.